Hello, how are you? I hope you find good. So today we have a new story. Okay, but firstly, let me share my screen with you. Okay, I think now you can share my screen. Yes. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so here this in this part we are studying this. Okay, from I know why the caged bird sings. Okay, this is a series of chapters. Okay, and we study this specific chapter. It's called Mrs. Flowers. Mrs. Flowers from I know why the caged bird sings. So here is the story itself. Okay, that's in the series entirely, and we study the specific part. Okay, so let's start together. So here, before we start in the story, we have to look for or to look at that before you read. We have here the elements of literature, and we have here the reading skills and strategies, quick write, and background. Background is talking about literature and real life. He wants to tell you something is important. Okay, so here that's in. Mrs. Flower is from Maya Angelou's, okay, autobiography. Of course, you know what does it mean autobiography. Autobiography that's in you write your personal life. You write your personal life. Okay, so here that's in Mrs. Flowers is a Maya Angelou's. She is the author, okay, as we see here, Maya Angelou. Okay, so here that's in the Angelou autobiography when Angelou born Marguerite Johnson. Okay, one was little girl. So here this was little girl, her parents separated. Her parents separated. Her parents, she and her brother Billy, were sent to Stamps, Arkansas, to live with their grandmother, called Mama, called Mama, who owned a general store. A year before meeting Mrs. Flowers, Margaret was the victim of a violent act. Violent act. She reacted by retreating behind a wall of silence. That's mean she reacted, she tried after with the silent, okay, there is no comment about this accident that he had. So here is this background about the story or about the chapter is talking about, and here is the reading skills and strategies. After we read it, okay, that's in here, let's start into the story itself. So for nearly a year, I stopped around the house. So firstly, let me try imitate this. Yes, okay. Here is for nearly a year, I stopped around house, the store, school, and the church like an old basket, dirty and indible. Then I met or rather go to know the lady who threw me my first line, my first lifeline. So here she's talking about the first one, the lady she knew her, Mrs. Bertha Flowers. Mrs. Bertha Flowers. Okay, was the aristocrat of black stamps. Black stamps, of course, because it's started with a capital letter. Okay, that's in black and stamps. Okay, that's only capital letters. She had the grace of control to appear warm in the coldest weather. Okay, appear warm in the coldest weather. And on the Arkansas summer days, it seemed that she had a breeze which swirled around. So here that's an around colon here. So here this part is talking about he tried to describe the weather in the Arkansas. Okay, in this summer in the Arkansas seemed she had a a private breeze which swirled around calling her. She was thin with the taut look of pupil, weary people, and her printed veil, dresses and flowered hats were at right for hair and overalls for the farmer. So here he's talking about that after he described the weather in Arkansas at this time, he tried to describe Mrs. Flower. Mrs. Flower, her name is Mrs. Bertha Flowers. Okay, and he tried to describe some features of her. She was our science answer to the richest white women in the town. Okay, so she was the richest white woman in the town. She was ideal, okay, or model for the rich one and the chic one and the aristocratic white people in the town. Her skin, okay, now he described described the features of the Mrs. Bertha Flower. Her skin was rich black that would have peeled like a plum if snagged, but then no one would have thought of getting close enough to Mrs. Flowers to to ruffle hair dress, let alone let alone snag her skin. She didn't encourage familiarity, she wore gloves too. So here also he continued or progressed to describe her looking. Okay, so she's talking about her skin, how she is perfect. Okay, how she's has a perfect looking good. After this here, listen, I don't think I ever saw Mrs. Flowers laugh. I never hear seen her she is laugh, but she smiled often. A slow winding of her thin black lips to show even small white teeth, small white teeth. Okay, then the slow efforts clothing. Okay, effortless clothing. So here, listen, she's talking about how she is smile. Okay, how many she's talking to people and this. Okay, when she when she choose when she chooses to smile to me on me, I always wanted to thank her just once because she smiled to me. I wanted to thank her because she smiled to me. The action was so graceful and inclusively bringing. Okay, that's in what happened after that is very specific. It's very terrific. Okay, now thank you so much. Okay, and in the class, inshallah, we will discuss more and read more, inshallah, for these details. Of course, don't forget to prepare this lesson. I think it's not long enough. It's just one, two, and three. That's it. Okay, that's the three. Okay. Um, I think it's just too good. Okay, story you can prepare it, inshallah, in short time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.